Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first cooking video of 2024. Today I'm going to share a recipe with you that is hearty, healthy, inexpensive, will feed a large number of people with ingredients that you might already have in your house. I guess I should tell you what we're making. We're making Mexican cornbread casserole. Let me show you the ingredients. For this cornbread casserole, you're going to need a cornbread mix. I am going to use my homemade cornbread mix. I did a recipe video on this that I will link down below. This is super easy and convenient to have in the house, but if you don't want to make this, don't have this, then you would use Jiffy bread, cornbread mix, or whatever like cornbread mix that you use. If you are gluten-free, you can buy cornbread mixes that are gluten-free. I know I've never bought the Jiff brand cornbread mix, but I think that it's quite small. So I think the boxes of the regular Jiff cornbread mix are like 8.5 ounces. 150, 160 milliliters. So you're going to want 2 of those or 1 recipe from this mix. Then we are going to need some plant-based sausage. I'm going to use this Gimme Lean plant-based sausage again. If you don't have this, you could use maybe 3 or 4 links of a vegan sausage that you like, or any kind of a vegan ground. And then we want some, cream style corn, some sweet corn. I have this Mexican style corn, and this is really good. I like this because it's got some red peppers in there and chili peppers. So you'll need some of that. 1 can of original Ro-Tel, 14-ounce can, or if you don't have Ro-Tel, then just some diced tomatoes or salsa, and then 1 small can of these chopped green chilies. We need 1 cup of diced onion. That would be about 1 medium to small-ish onion. And then 2 cups of grated cheese. I have this in the fridge, this Mexicana vegan cheese that I need to use up. 1 package of taco seasoning. And that's about it. This is just all the ingredients to make my cornbread. I have just given this a light spray with some cooking oil. This is like a 9 by 11 or 12 pan. So let's turn the oven on. And I've added a few sprays of olive oil into that. And the first thing we're going to do is get this browning. While that's doing that, what we're going to do, let me turn you around. We're going to drain the kernel corn and the Ro-Tel and the chilies. We're not going to drain the cream corn. Now, if you don't want to use the sausage, the vegan sausage or vegan ground, then just add some beans, some black beans. I showed how to make black beans in the Instant Pot a few recipes ago. So you can just add black beans or whatever bean you like in there. Instead, maybe 1.5 cups, 2 cups. And if you can't find the Mexican style corn, don't worry about that. Just use regular sweet corn. I find that this ground, that Gimme Lean ground sausage is really clumpy, and I don't have one of those little sort of meat breaker upper tools. So I find that a potato masher works really well in getting it broken up. So let's add in our onions in here to get those cooking. Now what we want is just the onions to get a little softened. Now there is not a lot of fat or any fat in this ground sausage, so I might give it a few more sprays of olive oil. And I'm going to let that just cook on low so that the onions get a little softened. In the meantime, we're going to make our cornbread mix. So, as per the instructions from that recipe, which I will link down below, or the instructions on your cornbread mix, I've got 2 cups in there, and I have made 1 flax egg, which is basically 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, 3 tablespoons of warm water. And I have 1 cup of plant-based milk. I'm using oat milk with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice in there to make sort of a buttermilk. And then 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Was it 3 or 4? 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Now I might add more milk if I feel like it needs it. So that, my friends, is that, which is why having that mix is so nice. Whoops. I just made a mess, as was foretold when it comes to me making a recipe. Okay, so I moved that to the back burner because this one is so hot. Now we're going to add in our 1 packet of taco seasoning. This is the low sodium one, but whatever you've got. I may need to add salt and pepper a little bit later. If you're using one that's not low sodium, you probably don't need to add salt and pepper, but you're going to taste it just to make sure. So now I'm going to add in my cream corn first, I think. A full can, 14 ounces of cream corn. You know, I love this frying pan, and people ask me all the time where I got it. I bought it at Winners, and it's called, the brand is called Masterclass. But what I don't like about it is that the handles get really hot. So I always have to have an oven mitt on or something. But the nice thing is it's oven safe. All right, and so now that that's in there, we're going to put in the rest of our ingredients. We have 1 14-ounce can of sweet corn that I've drained, 1 14-ounce can of Ro-Tel that I've drained, and if you can't find Ro-Tel, just use diced tomatoes. If you can find Mexican style, or if you don't have that, use salsa. Use whatever you've got in your house, and it'd be about, well, 14 ounces of that. And then 1 small can of those diced chilies. So now I'm just gonna let this heat up so everything is warm in there. Turn this up. Well, I might actually put it back on this burner. Now, if you have a small family, or if it's obviously just you, you'll make half a recipe. I'm making a lot because I want to make the full recipe for you. Excuse me. But what I'll end up doing is freezing this in individual portions so that I can pull it out whenever I want a quick meal, I don't feel like cooking, or for lunches. So I'm just going to taste this to see what it needs. That's actually really good. I don't even think it needs salt, to be honest with you. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. But otherwise, it's perfect. So keep in mind that you have preheated your oven. Don't be like me and usually forget. So I'll turn this off. So the first, what we're going to do is we're going to scoop this or pour this in here. One nice layer. All right. Now we take half of our cheese, so about 1 cup, and we're gonna layer that. So a layer of the shredded cheese, whatever shredded cheese you have on hand, or if you're gonna buy some, you know, maybe something that's a little stronger, so like a Tex-mex or a Monte Jack. You know, there's lots of vegan options now, which is nice. Okay, and so now we're putting our cornbread mix on there. This has gotten a little thick, so I'm gonna add a bit more milk. Just to thin it out a bit because it's sat. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for 25 minutes, and then when I'm going to pull it out, top it with the rest of the cheese, and then bake it for another 20 minutes. Okay, I'll see you back here when we are adding the cheese. The house is starting to smell good. Okay, it's done. It's been 45 minutes. Total. So totals 25 minutes, then an extra 20 after we added the cheese. And oh my gosh, that looks so good. Okay. The ASMR. Can you hear that? I'm gonna let that sit for 5 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer so that I don't burn myself. Maybe that's something I can aim for this year. Not burning myself on hot food. But we do wanna let that cool for at least 5 minutes, and that will actually help it stay together when we cut it. So I will see you back here for the quality control review, the taste test. It's done. And I was patient and I waited. I've got a dollop of vegan sour cream on there. I'm using this President's Choice sour cream. Is that too bright? It's actually really good. But you can put whatever you would normally put on, whatever you like on your Mexican food. Guacamole, salsa, that sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to give this a taste. I'm going to get some of the cornbread and the mixture. Yep. That's so good. Oh, I don't know if you can see Sophie back there. She's a little put out because she thinks it's supper time. It's not quite supper time yet. Anyways, so this is such an easy recipe to make. You saw how fast that was. If you have cornbread mix handy, and I really recommend that you make a bulk, like make your own cornbread mix to have in your pantry. It's just so simple and inexpensive, but even if you buy those Jiffy mixes or cornbread mixes. Otherwise, the ingredients are likely things you already have in your pantry. And you can make substitutions. Like say, if you don't want to use the vegan ground sausage, then use beans, whatever beans you like. You could use TVP. You could leave that out altogether and add additional vegetables. But if you don't have the Ro-Tel, then use just regular diced tomatoes and add maybe red peppers, green peppers, whatever you have in your fridge. Add it in here. It's so simple. If you're like me, you are shocked at how expensive groceries are. We are all looking for a way to save a buck, make our dollars stretch farther. If you have a family, that's even more important, but all of us are looking for that. So recipes like this, and so most of my recipes are inexpensive. They use pantry stable items so that you can stock up when you do find a sale on these things. And then you can just whip something up fast that is delicious. So, hey, you're gonna get fed. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you are staying safe. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Don't show people your buttocks. I love you, and I'll see you next time.